Fancy seeing you here. Working on a Saturday?
John, my old classmate, approached us in the hotel lounge, pretending to have come by chance. I had anticipated this ever since he overheard our conversation at the reunion, but I was still afraid to see his reaction. I checked his expression cautiously and saw that he was looking at me with obvious displeasure. We're in the middle of an important meeting. Can we talk another time? The more submissive I acted, the more John enjoyed it. Like a detective pointing out the culprit in a drama, he pointed at me vigorously.
This guy is the type to steal my girlfriend. I wouldn't recommend doing business with him. Whoever you are, how about working with my company instead?
I reached out to my secretary, Rachel, for help. There's no problem, her message read, which instantly calmed my mind. Rachel must have a plan. She's always been reliable, and following her advice has never led me astray. I decided to trust her words and took a deep breath.
Feeling frustrated? Let me tell you one last thing. My wife is an incredibly talented secretary.
John continued, perhaps thinking my silence meant I was admitting defeat.
With your lack of education, you'll never even meet, let alone date, a highly capable beauty like her.
Please make it in time. As if my prayers were answered, a black luxury car emerged from the underground parking lot and stopped in front of us.
Alex, I'll take it from here.
When John saw Rachel step out of the car, his face turned pale. My name is Alex. I run a company that handles wedding favors. It all started with a part-time job during my college years. I applied for a job as a wedding hall staff member simply because the hourly wage was good. As I watched the happy faces of the bride, groom, and guests, I began to want to work in the wedding industry myself, never imagining that it would lead to starting my own company. After graduating from college, I worked as a company employee for 8 years and then became independent at the age of 30. Before I knew it, the company had been around for over 10 years, and I was 42 years old. Currently, we collaborate with various companies to offer exclusive wedding favors that are popular, especially among the younger generation. It hasn't been smooth sailing, and there have been many hardships. But every time I see comments on social media, I'm instantly rewarded by knowing I've brought smiles to everyone's faces. It's been a continuous cycle of that. I think I'm leading a pretty good life. I don't want to go. The reunion invitation arrived at a crucial moment when an important contract was about to be finalized. I already have enough on my mind every day. I don't need any more trouble. Apparently, I appear to be someone with a lot of empathy, making it easy for both men and women to seek my advice. After listening to the concerns of classmates, colleagues, bosses, and subordinates, my communication skills improved and have been beneficial in my current job. Listening to everyone's problems turned out to be a valuable experience for me. I have one bitter memory. When I was a junior in high school, my classmate Sarah asked me for advice about her boyfriend, John. John was also in the same class, and although I didn't talk to him much, I knew who he was.
He's so childish, and he gets moody whenever things don't go his way.
I strongly agreed with her words. John's immaturity often complicated team sports and group activities in gym class. I secretly thought it would be better for Sarah to break up with him, but she didn't seem to have any intention of doing so. It was one of those typical situations where the girl just wanted someone to listen, even though she had already made up her mind. So I listened carefully without giving any advice.
Thanks. I feel better after talking to you, so I've decided not to break up with him for now.
Despite everything, she looked relieved after our talk, and I felt good about having been there for her. However, this is where the problem began.
Hey, it's your fault we broke up.
The next day, John stood in front of the classroom, waiting for me to arrive.
My fault. I just listened to her. She said she was going to stop thinking about breaking up.
Just listened? Don't play dumb. Someone saw you two talking in the classroom. You guys are together, aren't you?
Despite my efforts to help him avoid the breakup, he interrogated her and ended up pushing her towards breaking up. Thanks to the girls who knew the situation stepping in, my classmates didn't misunderstand. But John insisted, "You two are definitely together." From that point on, John started harassing me constantly. And since we were in the same class the following year, his so-called revenge continued until we graduated. Thus began John's intense harassment. There's a class reunion organized by that old classmate coming up. I haven't attended a reunion in over 10 years, so I stopped getting invitations. But now I got one. What do you think?
Don't ask questions you already know the answer to.
My secretary, Rachel, dismissed me coldly.
I'm sure he hasn't changed and wants to continue his revenge against you.
It sounds convincing when you say it, Rachel. Rachel is 32, 10 years younger than me, but she seems more mature than her age. It's because of the environment she grew up in. She has a personality that attracts troublesome men, which has caused her a lot of hardship. She's been my secretary for 5 years now, but I'll never forget what she said on her first day.
Is the interview still going on?
Rachel thought I was too nice and suspected I was testing her. At her previous job at a law firm, she was liked by a competent but extremely difficult lawyer and ended up being his personal secretary, despite being just an office worker. She says her husband has a personality like an overgrown child.
All the men around me are like that.
She always complains. I thought maybe he wanted to apologize for what happened in school. But if you say so, Rachel, I'll skip it. I was about to decline when Rachel hastily grabbed my arm.
Wait a minute. That's the day of the big meeting. And the venue is the same hotel.
I had completely forgotten because it was a Saturday meeting. There was a product I had wanted to carry in our store for a long time. It was from an old bakery that supplies wedding favors to venues in Chicago. But they had repeatedly refused to do business with any venues outside of Chicago due to concerns about quality control. The owner finally agreed to meet with me, saying he would consider it if I happened to be in Chicago. So, I can't go to the reunion anyway. But having both on the same day feels like bad luck. Rachel quickly pulled a pen from her breast pocket and marked me down as attending, making sure I couldn't stop her. Why did you mark me as attending?
Alex, something good will come out of going to this reunion. The times don't overlap, so please go and enjoy yourself.
Rachel smiled, but her eyes were filled with anger. I racked my brain trying to figure out if I had done something to upset her. The day of the reunion arrived. The reunion was scheduled for lunchtime in a banquet hall. The meeting was at 4 p.m., so I had plenty of time to attend the reunion. I couldn't drink, but I decided to forget about John for a while and enjoy catching up with old friends.
Hey, Alex. Long time no see.
My hopes were dashed as John spotted me almost immediately after the reunion began. His face, not hiding his scheming, gave me a bad feeling. Long time no see. Thanks for sending the invitation.
Well, this year it was my turn to organize, so I wanted to see your face after all these years.
From there, it was just a time to listen to John's bragging.
I'm working at that company of catalog gift now. You know the name since you're in the same industry, right?
The company name he mentioned was from the leading company of catalog gift in the industry. I didn't know he worked there, but of course I knew the company name. That's impressive.
Right? I even created a catalog series from scratch. I got the President's Award and a bonus for it, so I went on a lavish trip overseas.
I feel like I've heard this story somewhere before. I tried to remember where I had heard it, but John's misconceptions interrupted my thoughts.
Your little company must struggle to stay afloat, and your boss can't afford to give out bonuses, right? You're still just an employee, aren't you?
An employee? I founded my own company. John claimed to be in the same industry, so I thought he knew everything. But it seemed he was talking about the previous company I worked for, since we hadn't seen each other for years after high school. It's no wonder he didn't know. After all, I didn't know where John worked until just now.
You're a president? Don't make unfunny jokes. It ruins the mood.
Just like in high school, John refused to believe me. When I tried to hand him my business card, he brushed it away.
I don't need your business card. You're always like this, trying to steal my girlfriend or beat me. Tough luck not being able to.
Then he started bringing up old stories. Remember that time? And that other time too. Rehashing the past. The atmosphere kept getting worse, and a male staff member, unable to watch any longer, stepped in.
Good evening, Alex.
It was the manager of the banquet department, someone we frequently do business with. Good evening. I apologize for not greeting you earlier.
No need to apologize. By the way, I heard you have a meeting in our lounge later.
I was surprised he knew well, but it turned out the president, George, was a well-known guest at this hotel. Whenever he had business in Chicago, he always stayed at this hotel. He had a sweet tooth and was known for using the lounge every time. Since he had specified this hotel, I figured he used it often, but I didn't realize he was so familiar to the staff.
George loves melon parfaits. Since we use a whole melon, it requires a reservation, but we prepared one especially for today.
As the staff returned to work, I started thinking about how the melon parfait might help the contract, forgetting John was still standing there.
You have a meeting later?
John had an unpleasant smile. He's not seriously thinking of coming, is he? Oh, I'm just going to grab some food. I'm starving. I escaped for the moment, but the location was known. John would likely show up. However, according to the staff member, changing the location might upset George. I cursed Rachel, who had insisted I attend a reunion, even though she wasn't there. Sure enough, as the meeting began with our representative and me, John showed up.
Fancy seeing you here, working on a Saturday?
John pretended to casually join the conversation. George is a craftsman who values etiquette. I checked his expression cautiously and saw that he was looking at me with obvious displeasure. We're in the middle of an important meeting. Can we talk another time? The more submissive I acted, the more John enjoyed it. Like a detective pointing out the culprit in a drama, he pointed at me vigorously.
This guy is the type to steal my girlfriend. I wouldn't recommend doing business with him. Whoever you are, how about working with my company instead?
John handed his business card to George.
Unlike his small company, I work for the company of Catalog Gift. It would be better for your business to contract with us.
George's face turned red with anger.
What is this nonsense?
George, I apologize. I'll contact you again later. At this point, I thought I would have to try to fix things later, but George was already beyond reach.
That's enough. We won't be doing business with your company.
I quickly instructed our representative to follow George and hurriedly sent a message to Rachel, who was waiting in the parking lot. I paid the bill and rushed after them. "What have you done?" Right after I shouted, a reply from Rachel came in. "There's no problem," her message read, which instantly calmed my mind. Rachel must have a plan. She's always been reliable, and following her advice has never led me astray. I decided to trust her words and took a deep breath. John seemed eager to see me in despair, following me as I rushed to the entrance.
It stings, doesn't it? This is payback for that day. You took my girlfriend, so I'm taking your contract.
It was over 20 years ago, and it was all a misunderstanding, but he was still holding a grudge.
Let me tell you one last thing. My wife is an incredibly talented secretary. After working as a clerk at a top law firm, she's now the secretary to the president of a famous wedding favor company, a beautiful woman 10 years younger than me.
John continued, perhaps thinking my silence meant I was admitting defeat.
With your lack of education, you'll never even meet, let alone date, a highly capable beauty like her.
As I walked out of the entrance, hearing John's mocking laughter, I saw our representative desperately trying to persuade George. "Please make it in time." As if my prayers were answered, a black luxury car emerged from the underground parking lot and stopped in front of us.
Alex, I'll take it from here.
Rachel stepped out of the car and looked directly at John. "Thanks, Rachel. Your quick response is a lifesaver."
I was waiting in the parking lot for this very reason. It wouldn't mean much if I wasn't on time.
John stared in disbelief at how friendly we were.
Why is Rachel here?
It seemed Rachel really was John's wife.
I'm the president's secretary, so it makes sense for me to be here, doesn't it?
The president? Oh, you mean this old man?
Even seeing us talk right in front of him, he still didn't want to believe I was the president.
Still saying that after seeing this? Grow up and stop being such a sore loser.
Rachel took some documents out of her bag and handed them to George, who was about to get into his car.
George, these are comments from brides from Chicago posted on social media.
George tried to leave without taking them, but Rachel didn't back down. Reluctantly, he took the documents and his expression changed as he read them.
As a business owner, I respect your concern that expanding outside Chicago might lower the quality. But people who have moved away from Chicago see your wedding favors on social media and wish they could use them too. For those who lived in Chicago, your pastries are a taste of nostalgia. Please consider this.
Let's discuss this in more detail another time.
George said quietly before getting into his car. We watched until the car was out of sight. I'm so glad. I was really worried. I sat down in relief.
I told you it would be fine. Didn't you trust me?
I know you're capable, Rachel, but this was nerve-wracking. Besides, I didn't even know Rachel and John were married. I wished she had told me that beforehand.
What? You're stealing my lover again?
John, who had been silent until then, finally snapped back to reality and glared at Rachel and me. For the last time, I never stole her. I'm the president of the company Rachel works for, and she's my secretary.
Yeah, right. A single guy like you hiring a beautiful secretary 10 years younger? You must have ulterior motives.
I chose Rachel as my secretary because of her abilities. Did John realize he was demeaning his own wife by suggesting she was chosen only for her looks and age? Rachel didn't seem bothered, but I was furious. He had no idea how hard she worked behind the scenes.
This isn't the time to be talking about that. Aren't you concerned about your situation?
What do you mean?
Your company is negotiating with George's company too, right?
Come to think of it, that was true. I remembered that George had once mentioned, it's a hassle dealing with John's company. Let's stop talking about wedding favors during a phone conversation. You handed him your business card, right? John's face turned pale. His business card had both his name and company name on it. If I were in George's position, I wouldn't want to do business with a company that employs someone like John.
Oh my God. I knew you were immature, but I didn't think you were this thoughtless. We're in the same industry, so didn't you consider that we might be negotiating with the same client?
With trembling fingers, John dialed his boss on his smartphone. We could hear him getting yelled at through the phone. A few days later,
If you come to Chicago, I'll listen to you again.
we received a message from George. So our representative, Rachel, and I headed to Chicago. Is that John? Upon entering the company, we saw John and his colleagues. John looked ashamed, standing next to what seemed to be his boss. So I guess they were there to apologize. Rachel didn't even make eye contact with her husband.
Thank you for coming.
I was surprised that George greeted us personally, and then he shot a glare at John.
I won't be doing business with your company. I'll be contracting with Alex's company. That's all. You may leave.
Please wait. About the other day.
John wasn't even given a chance to apologize, and only we were led to the guest room. As the door closed, I saw John's miserable face. I apologized for the other day. He's a former classmate who mistakenly thinks I stole his girlfriend.
That doesn't matter. What really happened is that I remembered I didn't even eat half of that melon parfait. I called you to Chicago out of spite, so don't worry about it.
When I mentioned that we should have the parfait prepared for our next meeting, George laughed happily. The contract was finalized in a friendly atmosphere. Now couples from Chicago, or those who don't yet know your company, will be able to enjoy your pastries. Thank you so much. Now, I can bring smiles to even more people. Nowadays, it's convenient to get feedback through social media. I'm looking forward to everyone's reactions.
My wife still wants to celebrate our wedding anniversary every year, even at our age. So, at least once a year, we remember our wedding day. I'm grateful that our products are used on such memorable and important days. Thank you.
I thank George deeply. From then on, we worked closely with George's company, planning exclusive wedding favor products, and time flew by. I had almost forgotten about John. But about a month later, I asked Rachel, by the way, what happened to John?
He lost his place in the company after his childish behavior in front of George was reported. So, he suddenly resigned one day.
Resigned. That's serious. If John weren't Rachel's husband, I would have been happy about it. But considering her, I couldn't celebrate.
It's okay to be happy about it. I had planned it that way.
Rachel had been fed up with John's perpetual immaturity and had been looking for a way to make him reflect on his actions.
When I heard about the reunion, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to make him realize. Fortunately, I earn a good income compared to women my age, thanks to you, Alex. We don't have children, so my salary is enough for us to live on.
John had become a stay-at-home husband and was being criticized by Rachel daily.
But it's a relief. If he couldn't reflect on his actions after all this, I was planning to divorce him.
Seeing Rachel's beautiful smile, I vowed never to make her angry. About a year after the reunion, Rachel handed me a letter. What's this?
Open it. It's something that will make you happy, Alex.
I took out the letter from the cute stationery. It was filled with neat, feminine handwriting. This is why, no matter how tough things get, I can't quit. A bride from Chicago had sent a letter thanking us for using George's Bakery's pastries as wedding favors, and she was delighted and wanted to express her gratitude.
It's a taste of childhood memories for her. I hope we can continue to offer such important, nostalgic flavors as wedding favors.
Indeed. I nodded slowly.